That's enough. See that little coral by the head of that one?
You want to zoom in?
Yep,
That?
there's
Okay.
a Swiftia there. No,
Yeah,
thanks.
no, we got a good enough picture of it. Thank you. So, guys online, shall we try it to start a transect again, or shall we look around here more?
Let's start the transect and just count them on the transect.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Sounds good, Erica.
Okay, well, I gotta catch up now, so don't keep moving.
Okay.
You want me to wait
Yeah.
a couple minutes?
Gotta
Yep.
Catch back up.
Things happen fast now, though.
Oh, 1 second.
Get all set back up. It was 325.
Yep.
Well, we're excited beyond words, let me tell you. Yeah, I wish I could hear everybody online. I think what we'll do is if we can drop a marker, oh, no. If we can drop a marker every time we see one of those aggregations on the transect, is that possible?
Sure can.
Great.
And how would you like them labeled?
So, can we call them SP?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be for spawning petrale.
Okay. And I'm
Sounds
set
good.
up if you want to start.
Alrighty. Bridge nav. 200 meters, bearing 325.
See, if we were all in the control van with you, there would be whoops of delight.
Alrighty.
Yeah, what?
All right, transect starting now. Ship move also started about 2 meters ago.
The red sea cucumbers are Parasticopus, probably Leucothelae. Abby says she is whooping.
Great. So you can see what I meant when I said this area looked like a badly laid slate floor.
That's one way to think of it.
And since I have a badly laid slate floor in my front hall, I know whereof I speak.
Lots of skates.
Which skate was that?
These are long nose.
I think that was a little wreck sole we just went over.
All right. Thank you.
Is that?
That's another batch there, huh?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Another
SP002.
pile. Thank you.
So SP stands for soul pile?
It stands for spawning patrolling,
Aw,
but it could
okay.
stand for soul pile. Or we could call it an LN, love nest. But
Maybe a little too creative.
yeah, exactly. The joke today was, let's hope love is in the air.
Or in the water, I suppose.
Yes.
I feel bad for these singletons that we're seeing.
Yeah, they're kind of like the lonely guys.
Did you get your sun chips?
I did
No?
not, I know.
Oh, man.
I missed everything.
So Abby, is there a size difference between male and female petrale?
Yes.
And the females are bigger?
Yes. And from what we've been able to measure of these piles, the fish on the bottom is generally the largest, and it's usually covered by several smaller fish.
So that's interesting. So we think it's several males with a female on the bottom.
That is the current guess.
So what we're going to do is be able to kind of get some more details on that. Abby Powell will
This
be
was
with
a
you.
pile. It's not anymore.
Do we want to count that as number 3?
I don't know. Couldn't tell how many there was.
Let's call that number 3.
Alrighty.
What
Yep.
about over there? That's at least there's 2 in a pile. Does 2 in a pile count as a pile?
I don't know. I
many-
can't.
It
many
was
patrolling
way
did you
off on the
buy?
side.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
see
the
that
starboard
too.
bio box,
I-
Cam?
And there's a single guy there. Oh no, that's a Ray. Sorry. So what we're interested in is the timing of these, what we think are spawning aggregations, and the extent of them. And we were in here in 2005, and we were out here on the Thomas Thompson, the University of Washington vessel, and we had a local fisherman out with us, and he told us that this, he thought, was a petrale area, and that the spawning would happen mostly in the fall. And so that's what had us explore this area the first time. The first time we actually didn't see any spawning aggregations like this, but we came back in 2018 and started to see what we thought were spawning aggregations. And so even though we've been here before, there's lots of ways to explore, and you can explore places in time. So coming back and knowing something about the timing and the persistence of these things is another way to explore. And you can explore processes. I think of it like the octopus nursery area is kind of another example of exploring to see a process and then going back and seeing how persistent it is. Can you guys still hear me? Because I am having a little computer problem here.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're hearing you fine.
Sound great.
Okay.
Yeah. You tell if that was just one or more.
That looked like a lot.
I'm
to
sorry?
me.
There's another big cloud of. We said there was at least one there. There must have been more.
There's
Yeah.
at least one left. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
I saw like 2 or 3 fly
Yeah.
away. So
So yeah, for sure.
So Liz, did we confirm that 2 petrale make a love nest? Or does it have to be 3?
Let's see.
this one, I mean, you can see there's 2
Abby,
more
do you
right
want 2
here.
or 3 as a love nest?
Official term here.
Should we drop a target at 2s or only at 3s, Abby? It'll take her a while to get back to us.
If the 2 are touching.
If the 2
If
are
the
touching,
2 are
is that what I
touching.
heard?
Okay,
Yes.
Roger.
I wonder
So
if
she said
Liz,
a
I
little
wonder
higher.
if flying a little bit higher would stop at least let us get to them before they spook.
Yeah. Should we change height now during the transect, or should we wait till we finish this transect?
Well, I don't know if the height's going to make a big difference. I mean, we can only come up a little bit, and it's going to be hard to see these things.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it seems like they're out in front of us. It's not, like we're not going to be able to make a significant change in how much sound they're going to pick up.
Okay.
We're very loud.
We just passed about 100 meters, so we've got 100 to go, 95 to go.
Okay. So after we finish this transect,
We could
may
point
just
we could point the camera out
Go ahead.
further out, right? To see. That might help, but not on the transect.
What do you think, Erica?
That-
Yeah.
That might help, yeah. So Melissa has gotten back to Abby saying that getting size information is higher priority than zooms. So if there's a way to try to get them more into our field of view to see how many are in the piles and possibly get some sizing information. Yeah,
So
stealth
hit them with
mode.
the lasers, right?
Well, if we can't even get them in the field of view without them spooking, we're not going to get the lasers on them.
Yeah, they're pretty skittish.
They do not want to be watched while they do this.
Yeah, let's finish
Shark.
this transect and then
I'm going to catch a shark.
finish this transect, and then we can look around. And is that a pile there? Yeah. No?
I see one.
I see one.
Yeah.
Another singular there. There's a bunch of singulars around here.
Another one.
Yeah, that's a different kind though, right?
Oh,
a
I
little
saw
one.
that
down
one
there?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those narrow ones are probably wrecks. That's, I think, a petrale right there. It's swimming away from us.
Another
There's-
singular one.
Yeah, they're out there looking for love. It's interesting because they're have sort of an interesting posture on the bottom where they're a little arched up. So Abby has dubbed this area Petrale Peak.
Another singular one there.
At least during the month of October it is.
Is that how quickly the thought is that they complete their spawning? Or is it over a couple months?
We
I don't think we know because we've only been here in October.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so this is earlier than we've been here. We've been here late October, early November.
Gotcha.
And Abby really knows the literature very well because she's working on a paper about this. But I think in the 50s, early 50s, there was a spawning aggregation documented, I think, further north. And also, the thought is that there is
that just
a
one there, or
migration.
I couldn't tell. They zigzag
where
when they
these
take
things,
off. Stir up the bottom a lot.
yeah. and they move into an area, and they may be persistent in these areas. The question is, as far as the area may be persistent, but individual fish may come back to the same area too. But you kind of have to do a tagging study to figure that out.
Interesting. So we have 30 meters left on this transect. And when we're done with that, would you like to stop and look around or continue on our way?
Let me see if we get advice from we could just do another transect.
Well, let's look around a bit to see if we can get another
Roger.
good view of a pile.
Okay, sounds good.
Since transects seem to spook the piles.
Yeah.
We can sneak up on a pile.
I thought you said spook the pilots at first. I was like, I think they're
they're
pretty mellowed out.
I thought we did that right at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. The individual petrale don't seem as spooky as the piles.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I think if either they're shy or they feel particularly vulnerable at that time and when they're spawning, so which makes them a little more skitterish. And my sense is, and maybe we can figure this out, is that they prefer the areas, if we get in and out of any of these flat rock areas, that they prefer these areas where there's this broken, consolidated sediment. But I suspect this whole top here is like this, so that may be hard to figure out. Let's see what else we have on the science chat. I got overexcited and I'm not looking at the science chat enough.
15 meters to end of transect. Oh,
Yeah,
actually.
and then
6 meters to end of transect.
Great. So then we can move around and look for piles.
Yeah, there's a pile over there.
Roger. And transect complete. Bridge nav. Hold position.
So, Erica, I'm going to let you guide the noodling around.
Guess we're just gonna drive the amount of tether we have and see if we can sneak up on a pile.
Sounds good.
And we had 4 piles in that transect or 5?
That was 5.
Okay, thanks.
Whoopee. I'm so excited.
Excellent. It's always
It's a
nice
little
to,
crazy to predict something and then have it be there.
I was going to say, it's always nice to find the thing you're looking for as soon as the dive starts.
Yes, exactly. And not in the last 3 meters of the dive. So,
Yeah.
but that is, Kurt and Abby are the ones that planned the waypoints of this dive. So they looked hard at the data and put us in the right spot. We have several people online who are on that original. Kurt was on the original cruise in 2005, as was Waldo Wakefield, and they're both in the science chat room. Kurt and Abby are the ones that designed the dive. And Abby is the lead author on the publication we're working on. She's working on with the team on this aggregation, and she's working also with Melissa Haltek, who is one of the stock assessment biologists. They're the people that do the assessment models that help us determine or give management advice on what really is the available catch for certain species. And she's the lead on the trolley stock assessment. So she has been participating and really thinking about this. She's thought about it a long time. And
Are we interested in looking at octopus or anything like that?
nope.
See ya. We're on a mission. A mission of love.
So, info from Melissa on spawning times. Winter spawning regions are highly consistent based on fishery data, where the fishery actually targets the spawning aggregations at times. They've used this info to set up an individual-based model. She says it would be interesting to get video from northern Washington. There should be even more fish up there.
Well, we have 4
So-
here, but they're not touching.
Yeah.
Does this count?
So I would not call that a love nest.
Okay.
Socially distant loving.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
a bunch of them right
That's
here.
That's a COVID group.
Yeah. Just testing the waters.
Yeah.
But they're not spooked. That's something to note.
Yeah. In 2005, when we were out here originally, that's what the fishermen told us. They said that they fished on them really in the October, November, kind of December time period, that it varied a bit. And that unless they were in that spawning time, they really didn't catch many here. And the question was, did they migrate into this area during spawning? Or was the fact that they were a little bit higher in the water column when they were actually spawning that made them more available to be caught? I had this theory that if you're flat down here between the tiles, it's not easy for a trawler to catch you. But if they're this spooky, and maybe if they're spookier during spawning, they maybe are more available to trawls. Anyway, you're hearing me just ponder out loud.
Do we want to continue with some short steps forward here to keep moving towards the waypoint, and we can stop whenever? Oh, what's that? That's escape.
Erica, what would you like to do?
Is this a height we can do a transect at? This seems further off the bottom.
This is, I haven't changed the altitude off the bottom. I just pointed the camera up more.
Ah, okay.
Ah. Is that a, what is that?
Bag, maybe?
That, yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, one quick zoom.
Zoom in.
Bob's been dying to say that. Trash fish.
Yeah. Debris of some sort.
Yeah, some sort of plastic bag or something. Thank you.
Swiftia coral
Coming out, Bob.
Okay, zoom out.
on one of the rocks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we're off our coral and sponge mode a bit here.
So
For those
another
of you,
transect is of interest?
We are getting
Yeah.
close to the, yeah.
yeah.
And do we want to
Erica?
continue to the next waypoint for that transect?
Well, let me ask for all the scientists out in Chatland, do we care about the 100-meter separation between
Roger.
transects? Kurt's lobbying for multiple transects, and I guess, are we looking to just get as many counted transects as we can, or do we need the separation?
We have about 1,000 meters to that waypoint for your awareness as well.
Yeah, we think the densest aggregation of those will be up further up. So I would lobby for at least making our way that direction.
Okay, so Kurt's saying continue on this bearing and do another transect after 100 meters of separation.
Roger.
And
Yeah,
Melissa is saying that she was on that 2005 AUV mission as a grad student.
She's right, she was. I had
wonder if
forgotten
she
about
would remember
that.
being if she was there.
Oh, I am so sorry. That whole cruise is a blur, let me tell you. We had a lot of people from the division on that cruise. It was the first time we'd done any work with an AUV. In 2005, we were using Honey
Bridge nav.
King's AUV. And we had a lot going on. We had Chris Goldfinger
100
out
meters,
doing
bearing
multi-beam.
325.
But it really got us started off, and we did 3 banks. Coquille Bank, down here at Santa Lucia Bank, and Daisy Bank up. So Coquille and Daisy being off Oregon. And we found so many interesting things by going back then in 2018 and 19 to these. In 2005, there were a lot of fishing regulations that were put into place too. So going back to Daisy Bank and to some extent Coquille has allowed us to see how things have changed when fishing had been minimized in that area. So it's very interesting. But this area, I think, has been consistently accessed by fishermen, but I don't think it's fished by as many fishermen now as it was in the 2005 period. Now, I don't see Melissa in the science chat, so she must be emailing you, right, Erica?
She is texting with Abby. She is not in the science chat.
Ah, okay. Sorry, Melissa.
Pardon me, but we're doing some shooting for V-Link. Who's who for the usernames? So, I think we have lead B and lead C.
I am C.
Erica's.
Okay.
Liz is C.
Liz is C
And lead
Erica's
C.
B. Thank you.
Roger.
I don't know who Roger is.
So, and am I crackly at all?
Not at all. No, you sound good. Erica
So,
sounded a little bit crackly, but we're cleaning that up. As best we can.
I am using, unfortunately, because they work better for me, I'm using AirPods. So I'm using Bluetooth headphones, which seem to cause me less crackle for some reason.
Battery's fully charged, right?
Batteries are fully charged.
I do have a little bit of crackle, but not bad. And Erica, what kind of headsets are you using, or earbuds, or what are you using to listen?
I have a wired setup with a mic on the wire.
A mic on the wire. So the earbuds you put in your ear with a mic on the wire?
Correct.
Okay.
When I tried the mic on the wire, because I kept turning my head, I would fade in and out. So I went back to the earbuds.
And Erica, you'll find if you start moving around and turning your head from right to left, we might have a problem hearing you.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we do. We have to standardize headsets somehow because proximity to the mic is very important.
I could
You
turn
guys
my
can
volume up if you
send
want.
us one in the mail.
That would be a good idea. Everybody had the same headsets, it'd be great.
Yeah,
It would
I
make
think it
your
would
job
be
easier to troubleshoot.
Yes. Much.
Yeah. But I found when I had a wired one, that when I even moved my head, when the wire moved, I got crackle, and I could even hear the crackle. So I gave that up. They were new too. But because I have two sets of earbuds that are Bluetooth, and I can't do a whole dive with one set, at some point you'll hear me go on mute and I'll switch to another set that's on the charger now.
Well, thank you.
And I'm sure this is not information you needed.
No, actually, it does help. Knowing that somebody, you're paying that much attention helps us realize that you're probably doing a pretty good job over there. Some people aren't aware that, proximity to the microphone makes a very big difference and can cause us to chase our tails for quite a while.
Yeah, with the earbuds, because the mic is fixed, basically. relative to my mouth, you don't get, I think, as much variation.
Exactly. Hey, they sound very good. Ben's sitting next to me. He's complimenting the quality of them.
And the reason I have two is because I thought I lost them. One set, bought a second set, and immediately found the ones I thought I lost.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but they've come into handy in this situation. I had to get the wireless ones because
I'm thinking siphonophore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's another one. A lot of fish in line.
Good eye.
the wired one I would wear in the garden, and I kept cutting them by accident with my garden shears.
Danger.
It was really bad. So they had a very high mortality rate.
So Waldo said he was thinking these were split nose rockfish. Di, do you want to weigh in on those?
The corals we're seeing are pretty tiny, aren't they? And we haven't really seen any sponges to speak of.
How
I did
recently
see
was
one
this?
of the.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I did see one of the small barrels that we're looking for
Okay.
to hopefully collect.
Just now?
Sorry, Sam.
What's the fish that
No,
just
earlier.
went by?
Don't know. Could be another split nose. Di's saying split nose, and I was thinking tail also for some of the ones on the bottom. So
Oh, there
Di's
is that
saying
one of the little sponges right there. Whoop.
yes.
Where?
6 o'clock on the lasers. You've already gone over them. We'll find more.
Okay. And science, we have 15 meters left before we are past 100 meters since our last transect. Do you want to stop and look around at that point or continue with the 200-meter transect?
Thinking we'll just go ahead and start a transect again. And
I
get
agree.
some counts.
Roger.
Except I haven't seen a petrale in a while.
They must have sent out the word. They know we're here.
Voyeurs.
Erica, do you have anyone else in the house using potential bandwidth? We're having a signal crack a little bit.
No, just Nope, everyone's gone to bed except me.
Okay.
Bridge.
Do you have both? So I only have the only one channel that I'm viewing at any given
Are we
time.
starting that
I
transect?
turn off the.
We'll start the
I
transect
turn off.
in right now.
You turn off. I hope we're not losing you, Liz.
Oh, are you losing me now?
You said you turned off something and then we didn't hear what it was.
Oh, I just stopped because
Ready?
people were
Oh,
talking.
we're good.
I turn on only one channel. I'm not viewing two channels at the same time, two of the video feeds. I'm only viewing one channel at a time.
Oh.
And I think that saves me some bandwidth.
Okay.
And I think other people may keep maybe the quad and the ROV camera channel open both at the same time, but I only turn on the quad if I have a particular reason to look at it.
So some people are viewing two instances of Nautilus live at the same time.
Yes, I think so. And that may affect their bandwidth. I don't know if Erica is now or not.
I hope Erica's still with us. You still with us, Erica?
I'm still here,
Oh,
just
good.
writing transect information down on the Google Docs. So we did start a second one, correct?
Yeah,
That's correct. Yeah.
I just don't see it in the data logger.
Should
Yep.
be, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's right in the middle of this circle. This is the 200 meter.
Oh, sorry, I mean in the chat. I just need a timestamp.
Oh, gotcha.
Coming up.
Please and thank you.
There's a typo there, hold on.
What is that rockfish going head down now? Please die. Give me the answer. Oops. I think it's another split nose. If you get them at the right angle, you can actually see the little split kind of in their nose, at their nose.
And that's a Pacific hake. Smaller petrale.
Erica, we notice you're speaking on shore. We're going to try to clean up your signal, which is a little crackly. So if you could stop using a Nautilus channel on V-Link, it might help. Use only SPL.
Okay, turn. Got it.
Thank you. Hey, wait a minute.
I turned my Nautilus channel off as well. Can you still hear me?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. We need to tell everyone not to do two at the same time. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. You sounded good before, Liz. You sound even
Is this
better
one
now.
coming up here? I think it is.
Looks like a puddle. I'll drop a target.
Yes. Love nest ahead.
That's 06006.
Oh.
Whoops. Yeah, that's it.
Puddle has been dispersed.
But we did get a good enough look at it, I think. We can get some sizes, I think, from that. See if Di would confirm that for me.
Yes, definitely you get sizes from that.
Yeah. And we know how many there were, and we know their, you know, relative positions and who was on top of whom. So that's what we need to know.
Erica, we're down to hear your voice to see if there's a big improvement in your signal. We heard you laugh.
Well, that
Testing.
may be the sing us a song, Erica.
Yeah, no thank you.
Oh, come on.
Di's saying that when the video is reviewed, you can stop it and estimate the sizes before they skedaddled. And that's going to be the test of the night. How do you spell skedaddled?
SK, I don't know.
SKEDADDLE. Sure, the
Wow,
internet
I'm
knows.
voting for that. I'm sure the
We'll
internet
have an
knows.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's a nice star there. Raspbernaster?
It's got a lot of legs.
Arms.
Arms.
Got a lot of leg arms.
Yeah, those are
Spoke too soon.
Oh, are they
Yeah.
legs?
Other arms.
Okay.
aren't
Dang.
Yeah. Squid have arms. Octopus have arms. Sea stars have arms. None of them have legs.
Okay.
They have 2 feet.
They have
on their
feet,
arms.
but no
Not
No
real
legs. Yeah.
Skip the legs, get right to the feet.
Yeah.
So in the dive plan, I saw that this area had been trawled in the past, but less and less in the last decade. Is that why we're not seeing coral, large corals and sponges? Probably.
It could be. Yeah. It could be in the areas that we found, or Abby, who's the lead on this, found that when we went back to the areas on Daisy Bay, that we had surveyed in 2005, and then that area was closed completely to trawling around that time. What we found in 2005 were mostly dead sponges crunched up. And in 2018-19, we saw a lot of little sponges, lysocene sponges. So we're thinking that it could be a recruitment of new sponges in that area after the closures in 2005. So there's some utility to explore in time as well as space. So going back to the same place repeatedly can give you some information. It's a different kind of exploration, but we like to think of it as exploration anyway. We should mention that if we get what we think are sufficient of these petrale counts and transects, we may think about doing a habitat mosaic. I think that may be a little difficult because I think we'd have to be pretty high up not to spook the petrale out. So I'm sure we could see them, but we'd have to do a mosaic that probably wasn't this close to the bottom because the movement of the fish would mess up the mosaic completely.
So Kurt and Waldo are talking about the history of fishing in this area, and Kurt's saying that it's never really been closed to trawling except for deeper portions of the RCA, which is, remind me of that, Liz.
Yeah, this area hasn't been closed at all.
No, what does RCA stand for?
Rockfish Conservation Area.
Okay, thank you. And then Waldo's mentioning that there was a Nature Conservancy fleet buyback. So after that, there were only 2 trawlers operating in the area. So just by fleet reduction, the amount of trawling has been reduced.
Yes. So the Nature Conservancy did buy several permits in this area. I don't know if, I think that some of those permits but are continued to be fished, but much fewer. But when we were here in 2005, it probably was the peak of a lot of activity in this area of fishing. And then it pretty rapidly after that dropped off. I don't know if Kurt agrees with that analysis or not, but I think that's the timing. I think it was around 2008, maybe, that the Nature Conservancy started buying the permits, a few of the permits in this area, but Kurt could confirm that.
And the fish of
that one was
go ahead.
a Dover sole. What's he doing here? What were you going to ask?
Oh, just asking, the trawlers were going after sole, obviously, or likely, and other flatfish. Were those the target species?
They would fish rockfish, sablefish, flatfish. They fish different depths for each of those different species. But they would go after all of those with the same fishing gear.
Got it. Is that a hagfish?
It is.
Huh.
Seen a lot of hagfish going by, I think.
Yeah.
And there's that